Hello and welcome in. So good to see you. Hello, hello. Today is going to be all about the paper pile. So let us know in the chat. As long as you're subscribed, I think you can chat to us. How many papers are in your tower of papers, paper pile, paper stack? How many papers do you have? Tell us all the things. What's going on? Are you trying to clear some papers like I think most of us are? We have a lot to chat about. I'm going to share with you. Hold on. The blue box. So we've got a lot to chat about when it comes to the blue box and so much more. Thank you so much for being here. We are going to get started in about 60 seconds. So jump in, say hi. Chat's open. We're welcoming you in. We're just so glad you're here. So much to talk about. Paper piles just keep getting taller and taller and taller. So we're going to hopefully put an end to the pile of papers as much as we can. We've got a lot to chat about. Today is paper, paper, paper all day. Come on in. Welcome in. Glad you're here. Chat's open. So if you'd like to say hi, please do. If you've been tuning in for some time, we always love to hear what you've been working on in between our sessions. We always love to sort of catch up in that way. So join us if you will. We are going to get started. We've got so much to cover when it comes to paper. I would love your paper questions in the chat. So if you're wondering like what to do with certain papers, maybe we can get you some answers. Welcome in. We're glad you're here. Hello. Happy Tuesday. A quick programming note. I believe our day is going to change. So stay tuned for February. We don't know the date, but hopefully we'll be able to keep this whole show going. You can make sure that happens by hitting the subscribe button. And that way you'll be notified of new shows so you won't miss a thing. All right. Well, welcome in. It's 4 o'clock on a Tuesday in January, and that means it's time to do a little decluttering. If you already have a pile of papers nearby and you want to start sorting them out with us, please do. We'd love to have you just jump in and make that progress live. So get your recycling bin ready, get your file folders, charge up the shredder if you've got one and it's safe to do so. Just start going through papers if you'd like to. I think some of the easier papers to go through are the ones in the way back of the filing cabinet. Because when you sort of go with like older papers, you're like, why did I clip this recipe? What am I saving this brochure for? We already went on that vacation. And so sometimes like the older stuff is easier and then I can make faster progress, which I personally find super motivating. And if you do too, I'd start with the older stuff. Now, we do also have to do the newer stuff because that's going to be the bills to be paid and stuff. But if we want to make some quick progress really fast, super motivating. I love that. And there we go. Oh my gosh, Adair is in New Hampshire under 2 feet of snow, dealing with the basket of papers beside me. And yeah. Okay, here's the thing. This is it, right? Whether we're sort of snowed in, too cold to go out, we're prioritizing our piles of paper. I feel like I'm living in a snow globe. Everything's iced over. It's beautiful, but so dangerous. So yeah, stay in and declutter with us, including paper piles. So we've got a lot to chat about. We have the conundrum of going paperless. We're going to talk about the one thing you're probably forgetting when it comes to paper shredders. I'm going to tell you a really easy way to get your sensitive information off of documents. And I'm going to tell you all about the blue box. So let's get this show going. Welcome in, join us in chat, say hello if you'd like to, always optional, but I mean, we're a lot of fun here. So who knew decluttering could be so much fun? Not only are we like our own little community and declutter buddies, but also we're turning decluttering from a chore into a challenge. And we always do that by setting a timer. So if you're waiting for the timer to start, we will have a timed moment where I'm just going to kind of hang out here. And maybe I'll sort some of my papers because I too have papers. All right, let's start with the blue box because it's one of my most favorite things. And although they don't make this exact one anymore, I did put a link in the show notes so you can see one that's most similar. Good quality, brand name, and you can decide if you think it might be something that you'd like to try. This is something that I've used personally for I mean, I don't even want to say how long, decades. Let's just say decades. I've used it a really long time. So I started this in my sort of I had a very short stint in corporate America. And that's actually how I was led to be a professional organizer. So, twists of fate and where things take us. So, in my very short stint in an office setting, I used this box, and I used it because it is like a mini file drawer. So, you'll notice it holds hanging file folders. So, I'd love to start out by sharing a few things that work really well for me, and then maybe they'll work well for you too, or inspire you to think of like, oh, that maybe I should try that. And then we will set our timer, sort, and then we'll wrap it up. So it'll be a little bit of a shorter show. I know so many of you mentioned like an hour show is great, but I have things to do. And I hear you. So we're going to keep it, tight and content rich. So this is you think of it like a mini file drawer, right? It is. Listen, if I file something in a file drawer, it's as good as gone. I will never remember. Like if I put a bill to be paid in a file drawer, I will never pay it. But this is like a file drawer, but out in your line of sight. So if you say to me, I'm very visual, out of sight, out of mind, this can be the solution. It gets the papers up and vertical, so they're not horizontal in a paper pile, and they're grouped, right? So we're using hanging file folders. Now, here is the secret to success. When it comes to this type of a narrow file box, don't get the really big, like milk crate kind, because we don't need that many papers out at once. So narrow, so and again, link in the notes. Oh, and I should say fine print. I may receive a small commission at no extra charge for you if you pick up anything that I mentioned in the notes. So I have to say that. Okay, here's a sticky note. Guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to label the file. Watch me. Boom, done. I didn't have to get a label maker. Sure, love a label maker, might label it later. But honestly, the papers here, a lot of them are coming and going so fast. By the time I make a label, the paper is out of date anyway. So bills to be paid might be one that lives here forever, right? Bills to be paid. Are you receiving tax papers? Who's getting tax forms? Tax form, they're coming. It's 20 new file taxes. Maybe you have like a medical thing happening, and you've got research and prescriptions and business cards and all that. New one, file, right? We could file it right there. Coupons, store flyers, that's one. Vacation planning all your notes, party planning, all your notes, wedding, you're moving, all different reasons why you could group similar types of paper to be read, not your catalogs and magazines, it'll be the whole box, but to be read like, a flyer or something. So this could be the place to put the paper so that they don't land in a pile. You can move this to chop vegetables, set up dinner, company's coming, we move it. So it's, you can also move it to work on papers wherever you want to work on them. Maybe you want to work in another area, another room, a different place. You want it out of sight when company's on the way, simply put it to the side. So one place for the papers that are active. So I think of I'm probably in here getting papers and putting papers away on a daily basis. So that's the desk. Thought about it in toss that because there's a whole chapter. It might be the longest chapter, and it's all on paperwork. So, okay, day trip ideas. Like, hey, we might want to go here. Collect all your day trips, make a new file folder, day trips, file it in the day trip file folder. Maybe you have coupons or you have receipts for the month. All the things that are coming in and landing in your paper pile, a lot of them, the solution could be this desktop file box. Here's the thing though. The secret to the success, put papers in and take papers out. If you never take papers out, we're going to outgrow the box in like what, a day or two? And then you're going to buy a second box and a third box. And then you're going to come to the program and be like, Jamie, where do I put the boxes? So no, one box, right? And it's for all the papers that are currently sitting in a paper pile, but we're just going to get them up and organized and labeled and all the things. Okay. So as we're going through the papers, there's a chance you're going to come across things that have some sensitive information. And shredding is always a great option. If you don't need the paper anymore, shredding is always encouraged. but there is a really awesome roller. I linked to it in the show notes. It's a roller. It's an ink roller, and you just whip it across the sensitive information. It hides it under very thick permanent ink. And so that way you could just simply recycle the paper as opposed to feeling like the need to shred everything. A little swipe and you're moving on. So the roller can be really helpful. I know if they're like about $10 each. I think you get like, tons of swipes. So you're all good. Now, Lori's wondering, and this is such a good question, and I'm really glad you brought it up. When do we go through it? Like, do we dedicate like a certain day? Yes, yes, and yes, 100% yes. Let's think about this. You are running an entire life, right? Which is like so complicated, somewhat overwhelming, and lives come with a lot of paper. And so I love the idea of an office hour. Now, I don't know that you need a whole hour. If you're working on backlog, you'll probably need the whole hour. But just to process the week's papers, you probably won't need a whole hour. So give me an hour, give me a half hour, give me like an office 15, whatever you want to call it, on the same day every week. I think once a week is ideal. The other way to do it is to wrap it around something you already do. I put my laundry at home or in your apartment, and you can be near your papers, pop back over, work on papers. That's my time. Laundry cycle's done. I'm done with papers. If you're heading out to a laundromat, that's probably better used like the time for your to be read pile, your own, instead of reading the magazines at the, laundromat. But yes, I absolutely say, Lori, 100% devote a specific amount of time. And I truly encourage you to set a timer. The alarm can go off Tuesdays at 10, and that's your office hour. Your office half hour is 30 minutes before your favorite television show once a week, the 30 minutes after your show ends, whatever that looks like, where it is consistent, right? And I think consistency is the key to success. So I'm so glad you mentioned that. Yes, devote a specific time for sure. All right, now we could have the roller, but we also could use a shredder. Anyone want to guess what the number one mistake is when it comes to shredders? I don't even know that you could guess. I mean, maybe. Let's try. Okay. What do you think a big mistake is when it comes to paper shredders? Paper shredder. I mean, actually, I was going to say there's like one big one, but honestly, now I'm kind of coming up with a few. Let's see what you come up with. Mistakes when it comes to paper shredders. Piling papers on top of the paper shredder. that's the one I was thinking, right? Piling papers on top of the paper shredder to be shred later. Yeah, Adair says we don't clean them. Oh yeah, for sure, right? Like cleaning up that. So if you can line the bin, if that's recommended by the brand you have, great, because then it's less to try to dump successfully. So Adair, for sure, not cleaning them. And I'm actually going to sort of expand on that. And I think the biggest mistake is forgetting to send through lubrication sheets into your shredder. Almost every brand of shredder I know, and of course, check with yours, they require oily lubrication sheets, and you shred them on a regular basis. And that's because it's going to lube up all the little gears and things so that they don't get all jammed up. And I have burnt out more than one shredder in a lifetime. Guess why? Totally forgot to send through the sheets. Well, first, I didn't even know I had to, because I wasn't going to read the fine print of the 17-page novel that was going to put me to sleep about how to operate my machine. Call the 800 number. They'll tell you. I put a link in the show notes to the sheets, but you just send them through. You just shred them, and then it lubes up all the little gears in there, and you're all ready to go. So, but if you have a shredder and if you've burnt one out, it could also be that you ran it too long. You're supposed to run most of them for like 5 minutes and let them rest for 15 minutes. They're super delicate. I know they're a big clunky machine, but they're like actually very delicate. So a couple things to think about when it comes to the papers and all the stuff. Okay, so we have our daily box for all the things, including we're probably getting tax documents, so a great place to put them so that you'll have everything together. Let's talk about one thing when it comes to going paperless, because this is a big question, and I have what might be a really helpful answer. I mean, I strive to be helpful. I can never say for sure. And then we're going to start our timer, and here we go. So if you are ready, we are ready to go. Okay. When it comes to all the papers. You will often hear or read in a magazine article or hear on television, or even I've said it in my books, and I'm sure I've said it in programs like, go paperless. And that sounds like so freeing. There's such a relief that comes with not getting like 20 or 40 envelopes of mail in your inbox, like every single day in your mailbox, in your mail slot. I mean, it's just so much paper. But I think just saying that we're missing a really important piece. And that is for those of us that use the arriving envelope in the mailbox as the reminder to take action. So, for example, the bill arrives in the mail, we remember to pay the bill. If there's no bill arriving in the mail, how are we going to remember to pay the bill? And so I do agree that going paperless can have such a sense of like that relief and like, okay, I'm like not bogged down by all the papers. But then another problem can happen where we miss really important things, especially when it comes to our finances. Maybe the arriving bank statement reminds you to look it over to make sure that you recognize all the charges, reconcile the accounts at the end of the month. And if it doesn't arrive, how will we remember to do that? So here's what I'm going to say. This is one of the things that I did. It took me about a day to do it, but I have made up that day over and over and over again by saving myself so much time and stress and energy and mental bandwidth. And just, it feels like a really successful system. So here it is. Okay. I think the alerts, it's where it's at. I'm going to explain the alerts. Adair, I'm so glad you love that little like rollery thing. Yeah, for sure. It's just, it's also kind of fun. So anytime I can make like junk mail fun, I'm a big fan. Okay, so here we are. We are sitting in, the show together, and thanks so much for tuning in. And I'm just going to show you my phone. Here's a message that just came in 1 minute ago. 1 minute ago, here's a new message, and it says, a charge was just made for $19. And it shows me the last four digits of the credit card. It showed me $19 and it shows me who. And I recognize that. It is an ongoing subscription I have. It's related to my business. Send you the newsletter that you may have just received to remind you about the show happening. That cost me $19. So that's what that's all about. Okay. If I hadn't have gotten that month, I'd have to think about, oh, did I pay the $19? If I had it set to me having to pay, I'd have to remember to pay, and I wouldn't want to miss out paying because then I couldn't, send you the newsletter. So I contacted all the companies, the credit card companies, investment companies, the banks, the utilities, like all the things. It took me a day. Wasn't that much fun. But then I got takeout, so that part was fun. It was like a little treat for a job well done. I contacted them all, and I had them help me set up alerts. Now what happens is, oftentimes throughout the day, I get a text message because I said text message me. They could also email you. They could do both, whatever you prefer. I will get these little notifications that say, hey, this just got charged. Oh, you've got a credit pending. Oh, this is coming through. I returned something to the Macy's department store. By the time I got back in my car, I had an alert that said you're getting a credit in the correct amount to the card in the last four digits. I didn't have to remember. I didn't have to follow up with Macy's the paper and lose it. I didn't have to keep my statement. I didn't even have to keep the receipt because it's already done. So you can set up alerts if you'd like to. You can set up alerts for when a credit card is used for $1 or more. I've also caught things that the credit card company didn't flag as fraud. For example, we went to go get gas. In New Jersey, you don't pump your own gas. So we forgot to ask for the card and they forgot to give us the credit card. A couple days later, got an alert. Oh, you're buying gas at the gas station, a gas station we never buy gas at. Oh, no, we're not. The credit card company didn't flag it as fraud because why would they? It's gas. And it was a low amount. Contacted the credit card company, found out the card wasn't where it was supposed to be. It had been taken and stopped credit. I would have missed that. So many different ways where if you are sort of using the mail arriving as the reminder to take action. The alerts can substitute for that because I get an alert when a bill is due, when a bill is overdue, when I've made a payment, when a statement is ready. So I'm still in the know about everything without the actual physical paper arriving. If you love the physical paper, then I love that for you and I want you to keep it. Let's just find a place to put it. Let's make sure that we're rotating so the oldest leaves when you're comfortable with it leaving, so that we're not bogged down by all the papers. So before we start our timer, I just want to say, if you're considering going paperless, you can always opt back into paper. So maybe try it with one account for February, see if you like it. If you don't, you can change it back. Also, when I was setting up the alerts, it gave me great comfort when I was on the phone with customer service for every company to ask them, show me where the statements are online. And I can see 3, 5, 10 years of statements, printable, downloadable. I can email them to myself. They're at my fingertips. And that gave me so much confidence that if I needed an older statement, even going back a few years, without having to pay for it, I could view it. I could anytime. And I don't need to keep my own duplicate set of records. And I know that back, like growing up, we had a 4-drawer filing cabinet. My mom did a lot of like the filing and stuff. And then she passed a lot of those ideas down to me. So thanks, Mom. She had this file drawer. Every month, she filed one piece of paper into each of the file folders because it was back when the internet was like the plug-in dial-up thing. We weren't able to just add our. So of course she had to keep a set of records, because if she needed to prove something or she needed to look something up, it wasn't at our fingertips. Now it is for a lot of us. If you don't have the interest or the confidence or the printer at home, or we don't remember passwords, then it may not be as easy, and maybe a paper version is. But here's the thing. If we save all the paper, how are we finding it anyway? And I'll just invite you to think about that, because I think a lot of times I might save a paper thinking, oh, I'll have my own record. And then I can't find it anyway. And I just go to the company in the end, which I could have just done in the beginning. So yeah, it's true. Lori, so the question is like, so then you don't need to keep the phone bill you paid. Well, no. Well, first of all, think about, like a light bulb moment for me. The bill to be paid is only proof of what I owe. It's not even proof of payment. It's proof of what I owe. How I paid it is the proof of payment. So that's for a lot of us, and could still be cash, but a check, proof at the bank, paid by a credit card, proof at the bank. So there's a paper trail for all of this, right? So yeah, you don't need those. I'm not saying you don't want it. I'm saying you don't need it. Like, and we know this to be true because whenever they offer us to go paperless, it is very clear that they're saying our responsibility as a company or a financial institution is to hold on to these papers for much longer than, just a few years. By like legal standards, they have to. And a lot of confidence. So yeah, don't need it. It's just proof of what you owed, and you probably paid it. So yeah, bye-bye. I'm thinking, I don't know, you'll decide. You might say, well, I want to keep last month's, or I want to keep 1 year worth. For no other reason that it gives you comfort, in which case I want you to do that. So whatever makes you feel comfortable. But I can say I don't get any statements of any kind ever, and it's all going really well. So if you're like, could I ever get there? Should I try it? Maybe, because I was like, no, 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 no. I'm going paper all the way. And then I was like, let me try it with one. All right, let me add a second one. Let me add alerts. And then I'm like, what else can I stop? Because I was so thrilled that I don't get all the paper. So, all right. When we come back, I will have some questions that you might want to ask yourself when it comes to sorting paper. But before I share those and we wrap up our time together, we're going to start a timer. And as always, we start it for, you guessed it, 10 minutes. So we're going to start a timer. I'm not going to really say anything. I'm just going to be like awkwardly staring at you. No, I'm going to be cheering you on. I'm going to be giving you time check-ins, and we're going to do this together. So it is officially 23 after the hour. We'll be back at 33, and I'll give you those questions. 10 minutes on the mark. Don't get any papers from overhead that are heavy. Don't stand on a step ladder. Let's keep ourselves safe as we're decluttering. Read, sort, shred, discard, file, find your tax papers, whatever needs to happen. We'll begin in 3, 2, 1, and go. Timer's ticking. I'm cheering you on. You've got this. Timer's ticking. We are 1 minute in, 9 minutes to go. Keep sorting. Seven minutes left. See how long 10 minutes really is? Just keep going. Try to stay focused. Six minutes on the mark. Did you find papers you've been looking for? Counting down our live tidy. So if you're like, why is it so quiet? It's so you can concentrate for our final 5 minutes. We're coming up on that halfway mark. 5 minutes left in our tidy up. Then I'm going to share the 3 questions that I always ask myself when I'm looking at a piece of paper. It's official. We're halfway through. You've got this. Stay focused. We're under the halfway mark, and I am cheering you on. You might be playing a little music in your background to keep that energy high. The shredder might be going and making shredder music. Our timer is ticking. Stay focused. Make great progress. Our final, I mean, if you can imagine, 4 minutes. Tick, tick, tick. You got a little music in the background, keep things jazzy, or do you need quiet so you can focus? 3 minutes and 33 seconds. The recycle piles piling up. The shredder is shredding. 3 minutes to go. We're going to be coming up at your 2 minute warning. So glad you decided to join us today. Thanks for being here for the show. We're going to be wrapping up with the 3 things I always ask myself when I'm faced with a piece of paper, and I'll share with you what those are in 2 minutes. "90 seconds, the countdown is on." Do you love working by a timed moment so it's more like a challenge than a chore? I do. I love a timed moment. I hope you do as well. Ah, Adair, yes. A lot of towns are no longer accepting shred in their recycling centers. So the ID roller lets you send it for recycling. Um, a lot of other towns have stopped. My town did as well. It's just something about like the mixing and messing up the actual recycling process. So yes, it can be great for if you're like packing material potentially, depends on what you have. But yeah, I like the idea of just being able to recycle the whole paper. I agree. Yep, shred is a challenge for sure. Final minute, 60 seconds. The countdown is on. Of course, if you have a friend that lives in a neighboring town and they're still accepting shred, you might be able to, depending on how much you have, take them to lunch and give them your shred paper. I mean, I'd let you bring it over here, but we also have stopped. 40 seconds. Timer's ticking. And of course, you can just throw it away, but it feels silly because it's paper. But 30 seconds, timer's ticking. Here we go. We can count it down together. It'll be like counting down to a clutter-free space. And we're doing it together. 3, 2, 1, and ding! There's our jazzy timer. We love a timer celebrating a win. We love it when we're like, yes, we did this. So that was 10 focused minutes. Maybe too long, maybe not long enough, maybe the perfect length of time where you're like, listen, let me just do a little. Backlog is always great because you can usually go faster. Current stuff you have to look at. So join us in chat. Let us know, how did it go? Did you go through like a handful, a pile, a file? Did you not do any of that? Did you fall asleep? Naps are always good too. You got to, recharge for doing more organizing later. Or maybe you did some other project. You never really have to do exactly what we're doing. So let us know in chat. We always like to call out your wins and celebrate them. I am going to share with you those 3 quick questions, and then we're going to wrap. And we hopefully will see you in February. Stay tuned because I'll be announcing a new day, possibly a new time. And we're trying to make sure we can continue on. So thank you for your support by hitting the subscribe button. All right, are you ready? 3 questions. I'm going to wait for your chats to come in, celebrating your wins. And while we're waiting on those, I'm going to tell you the 3 questions. Okay, here we go. Question number 1. What is this paper telling me? What is this paper telling me? I mean, mostly every piece of paper is telling you something. You're invited to a party. You have an appointment. This is a warranty for your refrigerator. Every piece of paper is telling you something. There's something on the paper that's you need to know, maybe, sometimes. So what is the paper telling me? So I received a letter in the mail. It was a new customer service number for my bank. What is the paper telling me? I have a new customer service number for the bank. What would I have done normally? 2025 me would have put the paper on a pile, never to be seen again. And when I needed to call the bank, I wouldn't have known to look for the paper with the new number anyway, because the new number is on their website, right? So what is this paper telling me? Question 1, what is this paper telling me? Is the information easily available elsewhere? Is the information easily available elsewhere? Yes, the bank phone number is on their website. It's also on the new statements. It's also, if I ask my phone what the phone number is, it's available to me easily elsewhere. Is this cooking magazine available elsewhere? Oh, yes, it is at the library. Digitally, yes, I can see it elsewhere. What is this paper telling me? Is it easily available elsewhere? Here's a statement. It's your phone bill. Easily available elsewhere? Yes. Call customer service. Look up the statements online. Easily available elsewhere. The answer is not always yes, but it can help me to decide keep versus toss. So question 1, what is it telling me? 2, can I get the information elsewhere? 3, where would I look for this? So if I'm going to keep the paper because it's not easily available elsewhere, like a party invitation where the information is only on the paper, but also I could call the host or hostess, but also I could ask someone else that's going, but not as easily available elsewhere. So I actually want the invitation. Where would I look for it? And that one is the key, because I really hope that if we're going to go through the trouble of storing the piece of paper, it's so that we can reference it when we need it. And that brings us back to the beginning of our time together and the blue box, because this could say upcoming party. And then I've got my invitation, and I've got the ideas for the gifts, and I've got the directions, and I'm ready to go. So the idea of what is it telling me? Is it easily available elsewhere? And then if I'm going to keep it, where would I look for it? We probably solve the majority of the pieces of paper that come in. I feel great about that. Do you? 3 questions. What is it telling me? Is the information available elsewhere? And if I'm keeping it, where would I look for it? So finally, we bring the whole show back to my mom's favorite phrase, which is don't put it down, put it away. And when it comes to paper and everything else in our lives, if everything has a home and we put it back when we're done using it for the moment, it should be there when we go back to get it. And that means less stuff left all over, including, oh, that paper needs to be filed. I'm not taking it up a flight of stairs and filing it right now, even though I probably should. I think we know I'm not going to. But if I can drop it in a file box, it's as good as filed in the moment. So my newest file is all the recipes I'm never going to prepare, but I still want to clip them out. And the next one is for thumbprint cookies. So I will report back and let you know if I actually make the thumbprint cookies. And if you've got a great thumbprint cookie recipe, let me know, because I've been researching them. Someone gave me a really delicious one over the holiday season, and I've been wanting more ever since because I only got one, and it was really, really good. I think it was almond raspberry, and that happens to be like one of my favorite flavor combinations. So if you can help me out in that way, I'd really appreciate it. Also, you can help me by hitting the subscribe button if you haven't already. Today has been a blast. I hope that we are logging off going, oh my gosh, I can't believe I did all that in 10 minutes. And sure, there's always more to do, but let's celebrate the wins along the way. Thanks so much for tuning in. I appreciate you spending some time with me. Thank you to everyone who dropped in the chat. We've got some top fans there. We're going to do it again in February, but the day and time will probably change, so stay tuned. You can head over to jamienovak.com for all the info. You're welcome, Adair. Heidi, thanks for tuning in. Oh, yay, you're welcome. Adair said, had a pile of paper to take to meeting classes, put it in a 3-ring notebook. Oh, yeah, right? Where it belongs. And then we're ready. Oh my gosh. Why keep anything if we can't find it again? Which is the story of my life. Okay. Thanks, everyone. Be well. Don't forget to see the show notes for all the stuff we talked about. And I'll see you next month. Happy decluttering. So long.